obviously, China has taken an increased interest in the Middle East in the last 10 years. And I noticed this myself, even from Washington, where, you know, I've been working on the Middle East my entire life, and I never had much contact with any Chinese scholars or analysts in the Middle East. And suddenly, in the last few years, I'm quite frequently contacted by Chinese scholars. And so I began to think, okay, something is happening here. But, you know, China has been very cautious and careful with respect to the Middle East. And it has appeared to pursue an approach that is trying to maximize the economic relationships while avoiding being pulled in to any of the political and security challenges, which is very understandable. And so I think, I mean, one of the big challenges that China has to face going forward is precisely, you know, if you wish to expand your presence and role in the Middle East, can you continue to avoid making certain kinds of more political commitments in the region? I mean, I think that when President Xi visited in early 2016, the diplomacy was quite masterful there, because he had to navigate some complex developments. And so you had China at that time, appearing to, on the one hand, I'm just thinking of with respect to Saudi Arabia, say, you have China managing to present a balanced face to Saudi Arabia by, on the one hand, being misaligned with Saudi Arabia with respect to Syria, but at the same time, effectively aligning with Saudi Arabia with respect to Yemen, right? And so, you know, I think China has managed to tread quite carefully and successfully so far. And so, you know, if I'm thinking of a way for China to continue to build primarily its economic relationships, but also creating some kind of broader political and security impact on the region without getting directly pulled in to those conflicts, then it's a question of how you implement the One Belt, One Road vision. Because done in the right way, in my mind, One Belt, One Road is part of the answer to reconciling Saudi Arabia and Iran. Iran desperately wants to be part of this arrangement. Iran would love to be a strategic partner of China. Clearly, China is the dominant partner in that relationship. That's very clear. But the idea of a belt, a thick corridor of economic activity projecting westwards from China across Central Asia, you know, into Iran and perhaps south towards Pakistan. This is very alluring to Iran to be part of. But frankly, Saudi Arabia is also embarked on an ambitious effort over the course of the next several decades to reduce its dependency on oil and to build a broader set of global relationships, tapping into emerging economies across many sectors. And Saudi Arabia knows very well that the vibrancy in economic terms is in Asia, which means that we should be expecting of course the expression of this in policy terms in Saudi Arabia is Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030 plan, right? That's the platform for this. But what it will mean is that we can expect Saudi Arabia to be undertaking outreach to the east. And so if China is undertaking outreach to the west, Saudi Arabia is undertaking outreach to the east, and Iran is in between, then what I'm imagining is an emerging arrangement whereby the One Belt, One Road